We are drawing closer and closer to the 2024 presidential elections. This round is going to be one of the most important races we are going to see for the implications of future America. This is going to tell us exactly how hard it's going to be to save this country. It's it's looking difficult right now. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. People are still pretty asleep right now. But there is some good news. People are starting to wake up, and we're going to see just how many people are starting to realize how bad things are getting in this election cycle. Right now, though, we can't be focusing on the whole Biden versus Trump, DeSantis. We can't be looking that far ahead. Right now, it's just going to be the primaries, and that's what we need to focus on. Who's going to be the GOP nominee? Now, there's a few big name candidates. There's Donald Trump, there's DeSantis. Those are the two guys that really have an opportunity to win this thing. Nobody else is really in the race. I mean, Kanye's kind of there, but if we're being realistic, he has zero shot of winning a national election. There's zero chance he takes it. So what we're looking at is Trump, DeSantis. Who's the guy going to be? And right now, it's looking really good for Trump. And this is great news for us. I like DeSantis as a governor. He's done some great things over in Florida, but he's a politician. Let's not pretend like he's anything less than that. We need to recognize that the system was destroyed because of the theater that is politics. We put all these lifelong politicians in there, and their job is just to put on a show for us and bicker with each other while distracting us from the true problems, from what's really going on in the world right now. It's all a theater to distract you from the real issues. So, what we need to do is make a mockery of this system. We need to put in guys that don't belong there. Donald Trump does not belong as president. I love him as president. He needs to be our choice because of that. Not only he makes good decisions in office, like he makes good decisions for the future of the country. He does a job as president well, while at the same time not operating under the same system as everybody else. He doesn't have to put on this show because he didn't come up through the system, right? They can't force him into anything. When somebody comes in to politics and that was their lifelong goal, they go through these organizations and these clubs and they do these rituals, they do embarrassment rituals to get you stuck under the leash for your entire life, right? They get blackmail on you, they get dirt on you, so you have to work for the system instead of working for the people. Donald Trump didn't go through that. His goal wasn't to become a politician. His goal was to be a businessman, and that's what he did. And now he's at the highest level of business, president of the United States, president of the world, essentially. That's what the US spot was for a very long time. That's starting to fall apart, of course, as the position is no longer respected thanks to Joe Biden. But Donald Trump, he didn't go through the same system and wasn't propped up in the same way as everybody else. This is why they want DeSantis to be the candidate, because they can still have a little bit more control over him. He's not an outsider, and they are scared of outsiders, and Trump is the outsider. That is why we need him in office. We need an outsider. We need somebody who can get in there, represent the people, and actually tear down the broken system and give birth to something new, something great. When you listen to what Trump's been talking about in his speeches, his CPAC speech, he talks about this beautiful America, these super cities, these freedom cities, as I believe what he's calling them, flying cars. He has high ambitions. He is shooting for the stars right now, and he doesn't care about the politics involved. He just knows what he wants to get done, and he's going to go in and get it done. He doesn't have to work for these outside third parties. He's working for the people. He's working for America. He is truly making America great again. He represents what the presidential office was originally supposed to be, what it was back when the revolution happened, when George Washington was in there. The president was not like some kind of he wasn't in charge of everybody, if that makes sense. He was a leader, and he had control over the nation, but he worked for the people. He was for the people. He was a person, right? Like nowadays, everybody in politics, The people actually working there, sure, they may be people on the inside and they may have stuff going on outside in their own personal lives, but their personal lives are not part of being in office. Being in office is they become a robot essentially to get into that spot. Originally, what it was meant to be was you were just an average, ordinary person going in there. That was not what made you wealthy. You didn't get rich from working in politics. Your success didn't come from working in politics. That came beforehand, and you used it to get into politics. Now people use politics to get success. Trump represents the original purpose of our nation, of our political system. How it was intended to be ran. He got successful, and now as a human, as a person, as someone who became successful because he was like you and me, he's relatable. He managed to shoot that into presidential candidacy. And that was wonderful. 2016 to 2020 was one of the greatest times to be an American because it actually felt like we might have had a chance to take back our country. I can't say I was a big part of that at the beginning there. I was a liberal during the first 3 years of Trump's time in office. Thanks to COVID, that woke me up, as it woke up many Americans, and that's something we can look brightly upon. COVID may have ruined many, many lives, and it may have been a big catalyst of destroying the market, the free market in our nation, as transnational corporations swooped in and took down all the small businesses when our government shut them down, which was terrible. But it woke a lot of us up, and that's going to be our chance. We need bad things to happen for people to wake up, because as long as people have food and entertainment, they are pretty much fine. If they aren't dying on the streets, until that happens, until all pleasure is ripped away from them and they can't distract themselves with it anymore, people are going to remain asleep because it's easier. It's easier to live that lifestyle, understandably so. But unfortunately, it is resulting to the death of this nation. So things had to get bad, wake us up. And that's what COVID did. Thankfully, we can take some positives and we can get a silver lining out of it, even though it was a terrible, terrible, awful event. But getting back on track with Donald Trump, right? He was in office, he was making great progress, he was really starting to represent a change in American politics, and he left an impact that will greatly affect the political system for a very, very long time to come. He completely changed how most Americans view politics. He represented that we could go back to a time before success came from politics and go back to that time where you needed success to get into politics instead of the other way around, right? So he represented that we could get back to that. And then Joe Biden comes in and then we're back to what we had before, and our country is falling apart in front of us. It's been degrading, it's degenerating, everything is a distraction. Everybody is sucked into this pleasureful lifestyle, and they are letting their country die in front of them as this political theater continues to get played, and everybody is distracted from the real issues going on in the world. Everybody is distracted from the eternal battle, the eternal spiritual battle that's going on right now between Christianity and the evils and the degeneracy that is present within our society. And everybody is just so sucked away from it, either focusing on the useless politics, the stuff that doesn't actually matter, the Fox News conservatism or the Daily Wire stuff where it's just making fun of dumb liberals instead of focusing on the real issues. Like I said, it's a political theater. Get you distracted. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Conservatism is clearly the better side to be on, but unfortunately, most conservatives are just as asleep as liberals because they are distracted by the stupidity of the Democratic Party. And our own guys, our own influencers, they are the ones distracting us because it's so much easier to make money by pointing out, haha, dumb liberal, and owning college students. That's a very easy way to get views, get clicks, and it's a business. That's what like companies like the Daily Wire are. It's a business. It's understandable why they do what they do, why they are distracting the public, but it is unfortunate when you have guys with so much potential that are being constrained down there. Guys like Michael Knowles. That guy is great, by the way. But the Daily Wire, it's no good because it's just distracting us, even if that's not the intention, even if they are trying to fight for something good. And this Joe Biden's America, we are watching our country fall apart. And it's going to continue to get a lot worse if we continue on this track. And it clearly has inflation's continuing to get worse. We are very close to a world war, and a war would be very bad for patriots like you and me. We're the ones that would be getting sent to the front lines, my friend. We're the ones that we would get targeted if there was an attack. I don't know if you guys realize this, but if there is a world war, much of it would be completely controlled. There would be controlled decisions by both countries where they would bomb each other, where the nukes would be dropped. It will not be dropped in areas full of libtards that are easy to control. They will go after people like you and me, true patriots. We are the ones that would be in trouble if a world war breaks out. We're the ones they would use that to kill the decrease of population. That's a big thing that they've been trying to do. This is why they fear monger with overpopulation, because they want to be able to have a reason to go out and kill you. And they would use a world war for depopulation purposes, target high populated cities, places like New York. You better believe they would be in big trouble. But they would also use it to go into full war mode, take away our rights, and patriots like you and me would be in a lot of trouble. And they know who we are, by the way. They have records of us. They know what we do. They have all of our history online. By making these videos, they know everything about me. They know that I'm the type of person who will fight back, unfortunately, but it needs to be said, so I'm not afraid and I won't back down. But even those of you who stay off the internet for the most part, every search you've ever done, every video you've ever watched, every person you've ever listened to, every book you've ever ordered, ever read, they know. They know everything about you, where you live, your life, your family. They know you. So if they need to come after you for whatever reason and they're coming after the Patriots, which is a group they would come after, they know who you are and they are ready for it. So we really don't want that to happen. We do not want to go into a world war. We would be in a lot of trouble. And at this pace, we are very close to it. The Ukraine conflict is very, very, very close to breaking into a full-scale world war if the United States continues to get involved. But if Trump can get into office, we can save this. So we need to win this. We need to get an outsider into the race that will stop caring about European politics and getting us into wars and start focusing on our own border, our own people, the drug crisis, the fentanyl crisis that is going on here. That's what we need right now. We need someone who's willing to put their foot down, stay out of conflicts that don't affect us, stay out of these tyrannical governments, these corrupt governments that we see in Ukraine and Russia. We should not be supporting either of these groups. We need to leave them both alone, leave them both out of our own country, out of our own politics, and focus on ourselves right now because our country is falling apart. We need someone that's America first, that will actually care about our people. We need him to get into office. This is why we need Donald Trump. When when all that's been going on there, East Palestine, who went there? Was it the government? Was it the Democrats? Was it Biden? No, Biden was too busy in Kiev, Ukraine, to visit our own people in Ohio. And it took Trump going there to even get our own government to put in the effort to go and help our own people. And it's disgusting that it took Trump going there to encourage the government to get there because they're scared of him. They know what happens if he gets back into office. They know that he will save this country. It's going to be a lot easier to turn this country around if Donald Trump is in office. It won't be by 2028, right? Donald Trump will not single-handedly do it, but he will. He has the power to start a revolution, to start a spark. I don't mean like a revolution like the Revolutionary War. I mean a revolution as in like a awakening, a mass awakening. Trump is an inspirational guy. Trump is a great speaker, and he gets you hyped. He gets you pumped up for the future. He makes you want to fight. He makes you want to die for your country. Trump is the type of guy who has that type of influence. He's a very, very powerful man with his ability, with his speaking ability. He is very powerful with a microphone. And if he gets back into office, he will start the spark that will lead to the continuous saving of our country. 2028, we will be in a much better spot than we are right now if Trump is in. But if Biden's in there, we could be in a lot of trouble, my friends. Many of us will be on the streets. Poverty will be at an all-time high. There will possibly be a world war broken out if Biden wins, or another Democrat wins, or if some neocon wins. If one of those three things happen, if pretty much anybody other than Trump gets into office, there's a very good potential for World War Poverty is going to be through the roof. Inflation is going to be terrible. Your money will be worth nothing. You will own nothing and you will be happy. And they are telling you this, and most of you don't even care. Most of you don't even realize because it's hidden away from you. And if you aren't willing to look at it, or if you aren't willing to look for the signs, for the words between the lines, you'll never find it. You'll never see it. And that's what's going on right now. So if Biden wins again, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And then they will send you to a war where you can die, and then your son will die, and then your brother will die. They will all die in that war. And what will you be dying for? For liberalism. In the name of democracy is what you're dying for. Does that sound fun? Do you want to die for what has gotten our country to this place? Do you want to die for homosexuality? Do you want to die for transgenderism? For fat acceptance? That's what you are fighting for. And I am not willing to die for that cause. We need to go back to fighting for Christianity, for good values. And it's disgusting that we would do anything less. You'd be dying for the cross-dressing president of Ukraine, Zelensky. That guy is a joke. That is who you would be fighting for. That is who you would be dying for. And that's who they want. Everybody you know, your best friend, your brother, your son, your father, all sent to war to die. That's Biden's America for you. That is what the democratic America looks like. That is what America with a bunch of neocons and Democrats will look like in the year 2030. It will fall apart. We will all be we will be broke, we will be peasants compared to what we are today. And we are already in a pretty bad spot. If you think it's rough now, wait till we get to 2030 if we lose this 2024 election. But if Trump gets in there, it will send a signal that we still have hope, and it will inspire a great movement, and then we'll have another guy like Trump step up in 2028. Maybe it will be DeSantis that will be ready for the spot by then, and maybe things will turn around and he will look like a good candidate by then. And not saying that he's not a good candidate now. He is clearly a good candidate, but he's not a Trump candidate. He's not someone that can lead a great movement. He's not someone that can completely change American politics in the way that Donald Trump has. But he would be a good guy to pass on the torch to in the year 2028. But we are very far away from that. Right now, we need to focus on 2024. And that means Donald Trump needs to be our guy. And back to what the original purpose of this video was, I get a little off track sometimes. Clearly, you guys have been here for nearly 20 minutes now hearing it. But it's looking good. It is looking really good that Donald Trump will win. The polling is out. Lots of polling has been going on recently. Donald Trump has been crushing everybody, including DeSantis, in the polls by upwards between 10 to 20 points. That is really, really good. He's winning most national polls for him versus Biden, but I don't even know if Biden will be the Democratic nominee by then. There's a very good chance he is not because he has such low approval rating. There is zero chance he can win without 50,000 mysterious votes popping in during the middle of the night when all the poll watchers leave. Oh, that sounds a little familiar. I don't know. I don't know where though. I don't. I'm making that up. I'm sure of it. But back to what I was saying. Trump is looking very good. He will more than likely be the Republican nominee, and then he will have to take on whatever Democratic winner there is, whoever is representing that party. And we will have to win, or it's going to get really bad really fast. And if it does, don't give up hope, my friends. Don't give up hope because we can still save this country. We can still work together to save this country, eh? Right? And it will wake people up. It'll get so bad that we will get woken up, and there is a very good shot we would see a legitimate revolution, a legitimate secession, and that is not where we want to be. That is a terrible thing for this country. We need to preserve the union, and the only way to do that is if we can get our guys in and save the country overall. And if that doesn't happen, it's going to get so bad that by 2030, secession will seem like a legitimate possibility. And so, yeah, we don't want to get there. So let's keep on fighting. Let's keep the morale up. Let's keep watching the Donald Trump speeches, Donald Trump thug life moments. Donald Trump owns Hillary Clinton highlights 2016. Those were hilarious. We need that energy back. And it's looking like we are going to have Dark MAGA from what he's been saying. Donald Trump is back with a vengeance, and he is going to save this country. And if he doesn't, he's going to lead a movement and inspire somebody that is. And be that guy. Be the guy that is going to continue to carry the torch, eh? You have the potential to do it. Just keep educating yourself, keep your mind open, keep your connection with God strong, and don't let anybody break it down, my friend. Don't let anybody take that from you, because your connection with God is what is keeping you alive. It's keeping your heart pumping, it's keeping your morale high, and it's keeping your mind open and free. So free yourself from mental slavery. As always, of course, we have distractions everywhere. I'll pop up a video in the little corner right now, so you can go watch a video on taking advantage of all those distractions, because they are everywhere right now. But before I get distracted and go on another rant, I'm going to wrap it up here. Donald Trump is the future, and we need to push for him. He is the only hope of this country. And if the Democrats win in 2024, we will own nothing and be broken and be in complete mental slavery by the year 2030. So let's not get in that spot. Let's save this country. Let's save the West. We're going to save America. We're going to bring back God and Christianity, and we cannot lose, because we have already won the eternal battle, because we are on the side of Christ and they are on the side of the devil, and God will win. We have already read about it. We know what happens in Revelations. We will win the end. So keep yourself white pilled, don't get black pilled, and don't fall, because remember that you are still fighting for something great, and you have God on your side, and if you have God on your side, you can never lose. If you enjoyed, go ahead, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Share this video. YouTube doesn't really give me impressions, I've noticed, on my videos for the last couple weeks now. So I only get views pretty much from external, from people sharing these. So I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. You've listened to 22 minutes nearly of this now. So I will free you guys and let you go do something positive with your time and energy. So long, peace out, and God bless y'all.